All right, what is up, everybody? This is Jen Gomez coming from my car because, as we know, being a mom, entrepreneur, always on the go, you take lives from your car because that's just how things go sometimes, right? So it is my absolute pleasure to introduce a great friend of mine, an absolute powerhouse, the Say Yes and Figure It Out queen, who has helped me really take my business to the next level. And we have something really, 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 really exciting to share with you all just in a few minutes. But before we get started, I want to just talk to Kristen about how she got started. And so, Kristen, first of all, thank you so much for doing this live with me today. Let's hear first just a little bit about how you got started in this world of coaching, entrepreneurialism. Like, tell us a little bit about your story.
Oh my God, so good to be here with you, Jen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I tell this story, like variations of this story. So if it's okay, I'll tell you how I got started by sharing a quick story. Um, April 17th, 2023, I was let go from my corporate job unexpectedly, and I turned what happened to me into what happened for me. And while I thought that was the end of my Cinderella story because I was monetizing my sales expertise, it wasn't. It turns out I had a lot more growth to grow through. And kind of like a long story short, in Q4 of 2023, I took another job thinking that was the right thing to do for my family and all the financial chaos we were in and everything else that we were going through at the time. And I just felt so unfulfilled. Like, have you ever done something and all of a sudden felt like, oh my gosh, I just shot myself in the foot? And so, in the middle of working that job, trying to land a TEDx, trying to speak on big stages, like April of 2024 happened, and we agreed to part ways, and I stopped making excuses and I drew the line in the sand and I said, no one else's opinions pay my bills. So if you're watching, write that down. No one else's opinions pay my bills. And in April 24 of this year, I found a system that truly allowed me to lean into the calling that I always knew was on my heart, which is serving other entrepreneurs, coaches, course creators, and consultants while helping them create higher ticket offers and leverage this 20-year sales background that I have. So we do things like selling one to many, we do things like sliding into people's DMs and every iteration and variation of that. So that is like how I got started. Is I had to turn, I don't know if that ever happened to you, but I had to turn what happened to me into what happened for me, not once, but multiple different times. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I can never look back.
That's incredible. I mean, you really dove deep into what you were good at and shifted that into a fulfillment flow for you, where you literally are helping others craft their offers, lean into imperfect action, really leaning into what's possible for their businesses, just like you did for me. And I'm so forever grateful. So you kind of touched a little bit on what you do now. Do you want to expand on that at all, or we can move on to the next question?
Yeah, so that is so it's so cool because who we serve doesn't have to be us yesterday or 6 months ago or a few years ago, but so often it is. My clients find that we are serving this ourselves from yesterday. And the beauty of what I get to do now, like get to do now, is it's the same exact system I'm using every single day to win a client. And like I have various, like I have like a little push group. I know you know, like our push group that we're in together. I share my exact strategies of what I'm doing to DM a friend who has already reached out to me previously to be like, yo, Kristen, what are you doing now? And I share how I make that so effortless and fun. And so the system, what I just love about the season of life is the system I am using to grow beyond $300,000 of revenue this year so far is the same system I get to teach my clients.
So thank you for being a little bit more like clear on what it is you do. Now, where do people get the most stuck? I know where I get the most stuck, but where have you seen that people really get stuck on seeing the next level of their business?
And I would love to hear it from you too, but like I think there's so many places in like yesterday I won a client and we met in a real estate community years ago. Like most people don't even know I am a realtor because I like the license just kind of hanging around. This was my shiny object syndrome era. And she doesn't even have an offer. And so that is so fun because that's a point of being stuck is like, well, I see you out there and I'm a realtor killing it in SoCal. Like, how do I make this work for me? Because if you know, like you broadly speak watching, if you know about like you can't go and teach other realtors how to be realtors. That's a licensed thing through the state. So like, how do you carve out a niche? Right. So and then other clients I have, they're like, but Kristen, I don't have 20 years corporate sales. And I'm like, oh, snap, you're right. Sometimes it sounds good to be like, I got you because I have all that experience, but I realize it's very intimidating for so many people to go live, let alone to slide into somebody's DMs because we are bombarded by sleazy, salesy tactics left, right, and center on all the various platforms, especially LinkedIn. Yet I built a successful corporate career selling multi-million-dollar programs through the DMs. And so like, how do you just make what's working work for you? And that's where I feel like why I'm a really great coach for my clients because I bring the nuance. There's so many people out there who teach high ticket offers, selling one to many, and all variations of this. But like my mentor Eileen says, people are called to your voice, and there is an abundant amount of resources and clients and money in the world. So it's when people are called to your voice, they'll find that it's your nuance that they're wanting to pick your brain on. Like, what is that 1% shift that has to happen? That's what my old CEO used to say. He's like, turn the dial 1%. What's that one shift that you need to make to explode your business? And I think that's where most people get stuck is we are scared, our mindset issues, lacking that action taking, and then just not really being sure where to go. What about
Gosh, I
you?
know I've been there so many times. I've so many times I can't even count. I know that we all get scared. We all have that imposter syndrome. We all have that, what are they going to think? But you said something earlier that I just want to reiterate. So if they didn't write it down, they better now, is that no one's opinion is going to is going to pay your bills. Right. And we often think, what are they going to think? What are they going to think? What are they going to think? And this is what I tell my clients is fear, because that is the number one thing that holds us back. Fear is not fact. Fear is stories that we're telling ourselves about the future. So it's a story that we're telling ourselves about the future. Therefore, fear is not fact. Fear has not happened yet. So why are you letting it alter what you're doing in the current moment?
Jen, dropping it like it's hot. I'm like,
So
that's a writer downer.
yes. So, and to really expand on what's even cooler about Kristen and I coming together is when I first, a little bit about my story. I have been in the coaching and consulting space with strategy and business development for the past year. But I jumped into it not knowing what I was going to be doing, who I was going to be serving. I just knew that I needed to create a consulting business. I had a similar opportunity where my job had come to an end and I was at a crossroads, and I said, I want to start something of my own. I want more time with my kids. I want more financial freedom. I want more time freedom. And so I jumped. but it was a lot of learning and growing along the way, and I still felt stuck. I felt like the people who I was offering my services to at a rate that was higher than my community's rate for business development and executive leadership coaching, they still it still wasn't enough, and so when I started coaching with Kristen and she taught me her system, it completely shifted my understanding of what I was capable of in my business, my understanding of my offer structure, and how I actually had no ascension model. There was so much that I was missing that I may have been taught before, but it clicked. She gave me that 1% that turned it on, that I could make these shifts in my business. And so similarly to what Kristen does, I am now teaching my clients about their offer structure. And so what's so beautiful is I'm going to reiterate what you said, Kristen. There are people who are called to Kristen's voice. There are people that are called to my voice. And so the fact that we're coming together and we're collaborating, because what happens at the top? Collaboration. What happens at the bottom? Competition. You feel like there's one piece of the pie. And in reality, there is not. There are billions of people out there that need you, that need your voice, that need your help. And when you start having that mindset of abundance, you start to see, wow, the possibilities are endless, and it's okay if I also help with offer creation. It's okay if I also bring clarity to my clients, just like Kristen might be bringing, because her background is different than my background. Therefore, we're bringing different nuances to it. We're bringing different uniqueness to it. And so that's what's so exciting about collaborating with people that are in your field, that are in your space, because the biggest thing is you're not going to stay the same forever. You're constantly going to be iterating, right? You're constantly going to be growing. You're constantly going to be changing. So, with that said, Kristen, let's talk about what's next.
What's next? I know. I'm like, dang, Jen, that was the perfect layup. It's like you knew. But one thing I love to do is collaborate with others, whether they're in my niche or not. It's so often that it's logical to collaborate with my good friend, Dr. Andrea Vitz, who does emotional sobriety because she's seen as outside of my niche. But I had this epiphany like a week and a half ago where I was like, what if I collaborated more closely with my clients? And so Jen and I are co-hosting my last, and I don't know if it's your last, but my last masterclass of the year. So December 16th, you can go to, and we'll drop the link, say yes to sevenfigureoffers.com. And we are going to just bring some awesome, awesome fire sauce. I cannot, Jen, I am, you know how I am about this. And it is true. Like the two queens who are learning and iterating and flying the plane as we go, right? And like we don't pretend to have all of the answers. We have a lot of answers. And we're going to do this super fun activity that my friend Ryan taught me in the masterclass. So you're not going to want to be there, around how it is. One of my friends said to me the other day, she was posting on Instagram about how she's serving people in naturopathic wellness, basically. And she's living in another third world country, basically. And I was like, are you serving people in the States? And she's like, yeah, mainly. And I was like, girl, like it's time to raise our prices, right? Because it was like $200. It was like very low. And I was like, you know, it's not my conviction, it's yours. And, you know, she said to me, which so many people say to me, is I am still figuring it out. But
Mhm.
Malcolm Gladwell says that we are an expert when we have 10,000 hours in one thing or another. And we've done the math before in my master classes where like I've been alive 42 years. Oops, spoiler alert, right? And so like how many hours of expertise do I bring, not just honing and refining this craft, but in all of my other areas of my business? And we combine my talents with yours, Jen. I can't wait. This is going to be the most fun event. Someone say fun in the chat. This is going to be the most fun event, I think, of all of December, let alone maybe a year.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Kristen will tell you, I love brand development. I love strategy behind your brand. I love being able to have you walk into a room and say your expert positioning statement with confidence. And where does confidence come? The courage to take action. We cannot be great unless we have the courage to become great. You have to start. And so that's why Kristen and I so beautifully match up, because we are talking about the same things in a different nuanced way. And we both bring our own just incredible uniqueness to make sure that your brand, your offers, your clients are just moving upwards in the upward trajectory. And my biggest motivation for everyone that's listening right now is I want you to go and look at the person who inspires you the most. And I want you to see them flying on that jet. I want you to see them on that yacht. I want you to see them just living this life that you could only dream about living. And I want you to write down, why not me? Why not
Oh,
me? The one thing you're missing is the courage to take that imperfect action. Kristen is going to teach you that. You'll be supported by me, developing your brand, developing your expert statement, developing that courage. And with the mixture of both of our sales backgrounds, you're going to have it all.
and it's all happening for free, December 16th. So I love that, Jen. I love that. All right. Say yes to sevenfigureoffers.com. You can register to attend our free event. And you can upgrade also to our VIP experience where you'll get some super fancy, snazzy bonuses, and we'll take extra good
Oh,
care of you.
definitely do that. Definitely upgrade to the VIP. You don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Jen? Thank you for having me. I want to be respectful of your time. I know you've got a crazy calendar today.
No, thank you, Kristen. I cannot wait for December 16th. What was the time again?
It is at general session starts at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you. I put you on the spot there.
I might have to like, time zone math.
But we'll drop the link in the
Yeah.
comments below. We hope to see you there. Definitely grab a VIP ticket. You won't want to miss out on that. And we are here to answer any questions, but try to show up live that day because that's where all the magic will happen.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again, Kristen. Have a great day.